Bitcoin is at a crossroads. On one hand, it's never been stronger. Trillions in market cap, millions of holders, and even talks of nation-state adoption. Technical difficulty with the slides in the background, it looks like. But we're gonna freestyle it. The original vision, the one in the title of the white paper, peer-to-peer electronic cash, is still mostly a dream. We use Bitcoin to hold, to hedge, to opt out, but we rarely use it to live. At Block Inc., we believe that has to change. Because if Bitcoin doesn't get used, if it doesn't become everyday money, it risks failing to live up to the mighty mission that has inspired so many of us around the globe. That's why at Bitcoin 2025, Block is officially announcing that we're bringing Bitcoin payments capabilities to our millions of Square businesses and point of sales. At Block, we've always believed in Bitcoin's promise, but belief alone is not enough. What matters is action, and that's why, for more than a decade, we've kept showing up, often before it was popular, and sometimes before it even seemed practical. In 2023, we first enabled Bitcoin on-chain payments at Square. We were early, and it didn't get much traction, and the Lightning white paper was still years away, but it planted a seed. In 2018, Cash App became the first public company to support Bitcoin, driving the first exposure to Bitcoin for millions of Americans. In 2019, we launched Spiral to support open source Bitcoin development, no strings attached. In 2020, we co-founded the Crypto Open Patent Alliance to defend Bitcoin innovation and fight back against patent trolls. We'll come back to this one. In 2020, we also put Bitcoin on our balance sheet mere weeks after MicroStrategy. In 2021, we launched the Bitcoin Clean Energy Initiative to directly counter the boiling the ocean narrative. In 2022, we began building Proto, our open source mining initiative. And again, in 2022, Cash App became the first public company and the first major financial platform to adopt the Lightning Network. In 2023, the first physical BitKeys, our dead simple self-custody wallet for the world, came off the production line. And in 2024, we helped defeat Craig Wright in court, standing up for Satoshi's legacy and for Bitcoin developers around the world. And last year, we also introduced Bitcoin conversions, which allowed some Square businesses to convert part of their incoming sales to Bitcoin using Cash App. These aren't just headlines. They're a pattern. Again and again, Block has made early, principled bets on Bitcoin. We've made it more accessible. We've fought to make it more secure. And now we're focused on the third and hardest part, making it usable every day. So why are Bitcoin payments important? At Block, we believe the world needs a native currency of the internet, one that isn't dependent on gatekeepers, doesn't stop at artificial borders, and doesn't fall apart under political pressure. That currency is Bitcoin. And payments, real everyday payments, are how we make that vision come to life. If we don't use Bitcoin for payments, then we risk losing one of the most important promises, permissionless money. If we don't preserve the qualities of cash in a digital world, then human liberty is in serious trouble. And unfortunately, probably forever. Again, Jack said it best: if Bitcoin just becomes digital gold, we failed the mission. Bitcoin payments validate Bitcoin, not because the government says so, but because the market does. When price discovery goes from a handful of major exchanges to millions upon millions of participants in an economy, Bitcoin's decentralization increases. Payments are core to the soul of Bitcoin's ethos. When someone tips their barber in Bitcoin, or streams payments to their favorite podcaster, or zaps a note on Nostr, we're proving that Bitcoin is money. And the more that Bitcoin is used as money, the more robust and cemented into our world it becomes. And we all need to do our part. At Block, we believe Lightning is key to making Bitcoin more practical and accessible for everyday use and for everyday people. But we also believe that Lightning can be an essential foundation for the coming age of artificial intelligence. Humans and machines alike will require global, instant, and programmatic payments to unleash our fullest potential. And they will prefer a currency like Bitcoin. Agents are going to need frictionless, permissionless payments. They're going to need to transact instantly, to stream microtransactions, to bid on bandwidth, data sets, or whatever new economic models become viable in this new age that we're entering. At present, Block runs one of the top Lightning nodes globally, and we've brought the ability to use Lightning payments to our 50+ monthly active users within Cash App. And here's what's wild. It's working. Cash App continues to be one of the largest Bitcoin on-ramps in the US, regularly accounting for almost 10% of on-chain block space on any given day, month, or year. And at the same time, in 2024, we saw a 7x increase in Lightning payment volume compared to the previous year. And this usage continues to shift today. 1 in 4 of our outbound Bitcoin payments are now happening on Lightning. And at the infrastructure layer, we're earning nearly 10% Bitcoin on Bitcoin returns by efficiently routing real payments across the Lightning network. This isn't yield from altcoin staking or reckless speculation. It's from solving hard, real-time routing problems. And it's real Bitcoin on Bitcoin returns from our corporate holdings via supporting real payments use cases. What we see is that when you're enabling real payments by making them faster, more convenient, the network gets stronger, smarter, and more useful. So if you're wondering if Bitcoin is still just an asset, the answer is no. It's already a network, it's already a protocol, and now Block is leading the effort to make it into the world's best payment system. So today, we're taking the next step. For the first time ever, businesses will be able to accept Bitcoin natively directly through the Square point of sale, just like they would with cash, credit cards, and tap to pay. No clunky workarounds, just one seamless, elegant flow for both the customer and the business. Right now, if you head over to the conference merch store, just beyond these walls, every Square register is running a version of the updated point of sale. And if you pay with Bitcoin, you'll receive a 21% discount. There, you'll get to see it and experience it first before we start rolling it out, Lightning payments to Square Business later this year. Why does this matter? Because this is what makes Bitcoin everyday currency for everyone. What we're showing at the conference is just one layer of what we'll be introducing. We're actually building a full Bitcoin for businesses stack. We envision a world where any and all Square businesses will accept Bitcoin payments that seamlessly blend into the background. Whether they want to hold it as Bitcoin, convert it into local currency, whether they want to keep their Bitcoin in the Square ecosystem, or whether they want it to automatically be swept out to self-custody. This means not just accepting Bitcoin, but holding it, managing it, converting it, and reporting on it. We believe hardworking entrepreneurs deserve access to the full power of Bitcoin. They deserve the ability to bank in Bitcoin, to integrate Bitcoin into the tools they already use, from sales to accounting to taxes, to take the earnings from their life's work and transfer them into the hardest money ever created. It's about taking the blood, sweat, and grit poured into small businesses and turning that into something generational, something that honors the work, that protects it, and that gives it a future. For 16 years, that's what Square has enabled for millions of businesses. Proof of work. 1 year ago, we enabled some Square businesses to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, converting a set % of their daily sales automatically. Today, 1,700 businesses are all 100% in the money. Some have one employee, some are very large. Some are converting 1%, some are going as high as 60%. But with this feature, we've seen firsthand that businesses DCAing into Bitcoin can unlock more control over their treasury, a hedge against inflation, a path for faster business expansion, and importantly, a signal to their customers about what they stand for. And we weren't going to let our businesses do this alone. As a company, we are DCAing ourselves, taking 10% of all of our profits from Bitcoin and adding it to our corporate balance sheet as a salute to our beloved Square businesses and a nod to our overall conviction. We're in the process of expanding this to all businesses, and the experience will be native within Square Banking. You'll be able to set conversion percentages dynamically, toggle it on or off based on cash flows, and take your Bitcoin into self-custody at any time. It's the simplest way for small businesses to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. We'll also have native buy-sell functionality, making Square Banking the place where businesses can manage their active Bitcoin treasury. This will continue to differentiate Square Banking as a one-stop shop for businesses that want to do business in the way that they prefer, in Bitcoin or in USD or both. This will be the first mainstream accessible tool for businesses to earn, manage, and grow their wealth from their life's work and to participate natively in the Bitcoin economy. And later this year, we'll begin rolling out what you're seeing here today. Beautiful Square terminals accepting Bitcoin payments at your favorite, and frankly, typically the coolest neighborhood businesses. Ultimately, our goal is for when you think of Bitcoin for business, you think of Square. We're in the early stages of kicking off this journey, and I hope you kick it off with us for the sake of your business and for the sake of Bitcoin in the long run. So why do we think that things will be more successful than in 2013? Back then, Cash App was just starting out, playing around with email-to-email fiat payments. Many of our largest Bitcoin peers did not even exist yet. And there's been so much work done by so many people to get us collectively to where we are today. And the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is that our competitors in the industry are also our collaborators. As they grow, the network grows, and we all benefit. We're building a new future together, one that we all believe is rooted in a more free and fair foundation. And the rising tide lifts all boats. In 2025, with so many Lightning native Bitcoin apps, we've collectively grown the top of funnel of Bitcoiners who are not only willing, but importantly, now able to spend their Bitcoin to a number of many, many millions, tens of millions. It's strength in numbers. So hand in hand, let's do this one more time. Let's keep manifesting we know we need to live in. We can make Bitcoin the global reserve currency of our world by using it in our everyday lives. So if you see a Square business, we encourage you to do your part and pay in Bitcoin to show that the Bitcoin economy is not only possible, but inevitable. The long road to mainstream starts now. The new chapter of making Bitcoin everyday money will begin with skepticism and require us, together as a community, to be pioneers. Just like we all did with Bitcoin, just like we did with Lightning, Bitcoin as everyday money won't just happen on its own either. But we're all used to that. It starts with us, the early adopters, the community of tens of millions of passionate Bitcoiners around the world, including small business owners who use Square. And based on experience, I'm certain others will follow along shortly after. But with any cold start problem, someone has to be first. Someone bold, who wills into existence their vision of the future. And there's no company in the world in a better position to kick this off than Block Inc., alongside all of you, the amazing Bitcoin community. So we hope you will join us, because Bitcoin offers a new path, one that starts gradually and then suddenly. Thank you. Thank you.